Welcome everybody to this wonderful live stream. Hope to educate you, inform you, and make sure that you understand the powerful world of nootropics. What's new with me? And as you hop in, make sure that you mention to me where you're from, and of course drop some questions because that's what we do. What are your thoughts on probiotics? This is a newer product, Akkermansia. Are they a waste of money? Are they worth investing in? What are your thoughts on it? Because when we look at nootropics, I realize a lot of people are here on the channel specifically to get some sort of cognition boost, make sure that they're being as productive as they can. But at the same time, there's general supplements, stuff like fish oil, vitamin D, getting a multivitamin, all that stuff. Just make sure we got cool. All right, we're going to jump into some questions. What's up, Fallon Fox? All right, so some follow-up comments on the 5-HTP video that I made. So I heard some interesting experiences. So people are actually using it to induce lucid dreams. Pretty neat. I've yet to notice really that from 5-HTP. What I specifically like it for is the mood boost. But then there's better things you can take because 5-HTP, it's like a supplement that you would use here and there. You wouldn't use it every single day. It's like more like if you're in a bad mood, use some 5-HTP, you can cover it up. What else is new? Can a mushroom make you beautiful? Super Shrooms Tremella. Tremella is apparently, let's see if we can get that in there. No, not working. Yeah, there you go. It says the beauty mushroom. Does it work? I don't know. Will it make me beautiful? Will it make me more beautiful? We're going to find out. This is the product. There's a lot of mushroom supplements out there. What's good is they're naturally occurring. Who knows? So cool product. This doesn't taste too bad. You take like half a teaspoon. That's per serving. So I've tried it a few times. Don't know if I feel any different, but what is there to expect? And then the other mushroom supplements out there like shiitake, for example, which they call the elixir of life. Cool. What's up? PH is for the Philippines, the best country in the world. Any thoughts on TAK 653? No, but you're welcome to tell me more about it. For muscle growth, what is the best to take? The best thing to take is enough protein. I think that people don't generally consume enough protein. And aside from building muscle, people need to understand like amino acids and protein are one of the primary nutrients that are going to be involved with you being more ambitious, you getting more done, you being productive. The dopamine, like I mean, it's all there in the protein. So up your protein intake. Have at least 2, but 3 servings of protein per day. Make sure that they're 30 grams of protein. Like a big chicken breast, that would be 40 grams of protein, for example. Or you can just consume some whey shakes. Outside of protein, of course, creatine is studied. It's gonna help you work out more intensely, and that's gonna, as a result, help you to build more muscle. Plus, it also hydrates your muscles, so that what happens is you have better workouts. You can also recover a lot quicker. And outside of that, a pre-workout is really gonna help you if it's like getting to gym is the hard part. But as you know, when it comes to gaining weight, the way it happens, it's not a magic formula. It's called a calorie surplus, meaning eat more calories than you expend. So good practice people take is they eat 500 calories more than their maintenance. However, now a lot of people only eat 200 calories over their maintenance because you gain weight too fast. And when you gain weight too fast, depending on your genetics, you're going to gain a lot of fat and not a lot of muscle. So it depends on you. Weight train 3-4 times a week at least. And then make sure you're eating your protein, get some good healthy fats, and you should be good. Make sure you're sleeping. What's your thoughts on Era? Is it one of the forms of ginseng? You're welcome. Yeah, welcome. Tell me more about that. I'm happy that after 1 month of being on TRT, the obsessive, distracting libido has gone away. You know, that's probably actually because your testosterone levels had dropped. I'd be interested to see your blood work. When I was on TRT, it's like my testosterone just skyrocketed, and then I got off of it. So obviously it came down, but it actually went down to levels that were lower than my baseline, which is kind of scary, which people often ask the question, like, if I use TRT and then I get off of it, is my testosterone going to be worse? And the answer is probably we don't know. It's very variable between each individual. But I'm glad that you at least tried it, because TRT, what an experience! Wow, at least you get to understand what it's like to have high testosterone levels. And the truth is, it's everything that you'd expect it to be, as far as aggression, energy, ambition, feeling good, feeling more positive, needing less sleep. And females would react to it the same way, just so you know. Do you track how you're feeling numerically somehow? How do you know if one supplement stack is working? I love the question. So with respect to how you're feeling numerically, I've tried a lot of ways to kind of get this away from being subjective to more objective. There's apps, for example, during the day when you can log things like your mood, or you can log how you're feeling. I've tried, I don't even remember the name of the app, like something like that. I mean, it's going to require a very analytical person to follow through with something like that. So the answer is self-awareness. For me anyway, because I'm in a commission-based job, I think, and I work, I mean, I'm self-employed, it's naturally just easier to track things. But if you have a job, for example, you're working like 9 to 5, you're not, I don't believe you're as mindful of your performance as you would be otherwise, right? So you work in commission-based job. I mean, you look at the income, you look at the numbers. Okay, how do I know that I've had a productive day? Maybe number of calls made, and maybe number of videos shot. How much of my day was spent on income-producing activities versus all those menial tasks that don't do anything. And then you get to judge, okay, what's working, what's not. So as far as different supplements, what I would do if I was you, it's depends on you. If you're not as self-aware as some other people, then only try one nootropic at a time. Give it a shot for about a month, maybe 2 months, and then you can add something out, or you can add something in, or you can just remove it and add something else there afterwards, right? But for most nootropics out there, you'd be surprised. You can combine them and you feel good, or the benefits actually compound on top of each other. Like for example, using the racetams, it was very interesting when I first started using piracetam, and then I got Aniracetam, and I thought, okay, I could stop using piracetam, but then I just added Aniracetam on top of it because, why not? It's a pretty subtle supplement, and everything just started working better. Clear thinking, right? Have you measured your memory gains with tests using nootropics? See, this is the thing. Memory tests, brain tests, stuff like this, puzzles. I personally spent a lot of time using them, and I don't think they're the best way to measure performance, because if you're going to get good at something, like, why not try learning a language? You just end up wasting time. And the same for like the same game you're playing, for example. Eventually, as you keep on playing that game, obviously you're going to become better at it. So I don't know if they've come up with something. What was the name of it back like a decade ago? Lumosity or Luminosity, something like that. It was like a numbers game. It's gonna depend on you. I hate that answer, but yeah. Okay, cool. Airmanax. What would you recommend to stack with methylphenidate? Depends how you feel with it. I think using L-tyrosine or using caffeine is going to be a little bit too intense. Some people like L-theanine, but L-theanine, it's very unpredictable. Your blood pressure can do strange things. Sometimes you feel fatigued, you feel lethargic. Definitely use alpha GPC, because alpha GPC, it's going to give you that energy. It's going to give you that drive you want. It's going to help you with the clear-mindedness. And for me, I respond very well to Rhodiola Rosea, but that's not everyone. Rhodiola Rosea is one of the best supplements, if not the best supplement, for fatigue. So it does still provide you with a good energy boost if you use it sometime during the day. Like today, for example, I've used Rhodiola Rosea 500 milligrams. I might use 500 milligrams again because I like the clear thinking that I get. I like that I'm suddenly just more present, right? I can forget some of the past occurrences and move forward. So the ND formulation of lion's mane. Okay, so this product I have not tried yet, but I did connect with ND before they released the product. We were talking about it a little bit. So now that it's actually out, I will definitely make an intention to use it. But I really like the 8-to-1, so I can't imagine it being any better. Lion's mane is tricky because I think really like lion's mane. Will you notice a difference? Probably. I think 70% of people will see a difference, but for some people, or depending on what type of work they're doing, it may not actually help them, because it can demotivate people and it can make them a little bit more in their head. You'll start asking yourself questions like, what is my why? What am I doing this for? If you like to introspect and stuff like that, lion's mane could be great, right? But other people just need to move forward. Michael, what's up? Oh, sorry, I'll give everyone a shout. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, they're new but how are you guys liking the new Air Max? What do you like about it? And how would you compare it versus the 8-to-1? Have you taken Hydra 21 research on? I tried it. I think I tried it for like a week. I didn't notice much from it, so I stopped using it. I have tried a lot of newer nootropics lately, only to be disappointed, kind of as expected. So I'd be really intrigued to know, for everyone, like, what is working for you? What are you liking that's different than like 2021, 2020, and prior, right? Cool. No, we cannot, but thanks for asking. Cool. Astragalus, that one should be good, and the other one is reishi mushroom. Yeah, around the pandemic, I think a lot of people started taking these supplements, and of course, getting a healthy diet. But are you? I mean, you currently have it? Are you recovering? I'm just gonna turn on my AC. How often do you cycle off the racetams? So I was actually off the racetams for quite a while. I was just on piracetam. I wasn't on Aniracetam, excuse me, oxyracetam. So now that I have those in, I'm gonna probably use them for 2, maybe 3 months, and then I'll probably just take like a week off. I'm somebody that doesn't build a tolerance really to the racetams, fortunately. And same thing can be said actually with alpha GPC. Just when I stop using them, my drive is a little bit lower. My recall isn't as good, kind of as you'd expect. But it was very interesting taking time off the racetams, then getting them back, suddenly my discipline's up, my productivity is up. I finish the day, look at what I've accomplished, and I'm like, no question about it. The racetams will improve your work ethic. I haven't seen anyone who's used the racetams and was disappointed unless they had really bad side effects like headaches, which happens to some people. But I mean, it's pretty rare. If you use it with choline and you're patient with it, it's subtle, but your work output will be better. Try lots of nootropic stacks. Hard to tell what works. Had the best gains with self-hypnosis. Ever try it? This is the thing. It depends what you're looking for. For me, like, fortunately, I use nootropics after I already studied a lot of personal development and already after I did things like meditate, understand different just techniques you can use, like cold showers, right? Stuff like that to calm myself down. So self-hypnosis. Depends what you consider self-hypnosis, because that's subjective as well. It could be saying things like affirmations. It could be listening to a guided meditation. I have gone to see a hypnotherapist several times, and they put you in a trance. So imagine being seated and somebody asking you questions that will literally just make your head spin. And my hypnotherapist, they had me sign a waiver saying that I wasn't responsible if something bad happened there afterwards, because after the hypnosis, the hypnosis bell, what happens is you have to drive home. So you don't want to be too hypnotized. That was the most effective thing, actually, right? It's pretty powerful stuff. Aniracetam versus Noopept for cognitive enhancement. I would say Aniracetam, Aniracetam will cause you to think in a different way, whereas Noopept will make your work output higher. Like Aniracetam will make you more likely to suddenly go and talk to somebody, or make you more likely to be out of your comfort zone. But with Noopept, it's just like those same tasks that you're typically doing, you'll be able to do them a lot more with more focus, boost of concentration, and you'll have more control over the distractions. Hope that made sense. And hope my audio is okay. You don't need to drive. That's funny. I tried self-hypnosis and ended up sleeping. Yeah, don't do it. Maybe you were listening to something which had like a white noise in the background, something to make you sleep. Cool. Okay, so then my question is why would you use this over something like the racetams? What does it have that the racetams don't? The racetams, what I like about them is I've been using them for so many years, and people often ask the question with the racetams, like, do bad things happen after you use them for 5 to 6 years or long term? I'm like, no. And so I think I can put a lot of you at peace knowing that nootropics are not really a bad thing. Just come. And I wish I had ways to measure that besides like HRV, besides my resting heart rate. But I track my stuff with the Oura Ring and other stuff. Everything looks good, right? Noopept is safer. You can stack them both. I wouldn't agree with that. I don't think that Noopept is safer. I think Aniracetam is actually safer because Noopept is just stronger. More people actually have an adverse reaction to Noopept versus Aniracetam. Some people get headaches, some people don't feel it. Noopept just hits you a lot faster, so it's noticeable for most people. Whereas Aniracetam, not a lot of people are willing to be consistent and actually using nootropic for a couple times a day and continue with that and wait a week. So with nootropics, guys, if you're going to get some nootropics and really judge the effectiveness of them, you got to be consistent. Going back to the first person's question, use it every single day, right? And then you'll know how it works. I don't know how I would know if this works. It's a probiotic. See, but I asked this question early on. What do you guys think of probiotic supplements? I personally not seen any results with them, even when I was doing different things with my diet and carb cycling, but I am intrigued. Thoughts on nootropics in products like Mud WTR? What is Mud WTR? Did you try fermented nootropic as fermented lion's mane? Does it make more effective than the regular one? I've not tried it. Yeah, guys, we need some more questions up in here. What do you think of Citicoline? I think it's a good alternative to alpha GPC if you don't respond that well to alpha GPC, because alpha GPC is like it is the gold standard when it comes to different sources of choline that you can take. Choline being a very important nutrient for the brain. It's for all things cognition. So you want to have some form of choline during the day. And guys, this is for everyone. Even if you're not using nootropics, make sure to consume choline. It's healthy, right? You don't need to overdo it because then you can get in a bad mood or strange things can happen. But alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, or citicoline, good stuff. And a lot of nootropic blends will actually have a combination of citicoline as well as alpha GPC. There's some research showing that alpha GPC may actually help you with your workouts, but there is also some evidence showing that it can result in stroke or likelihood of stroke later on in the future. And that is definitely true. But my car was there, and so I wouldn't have done that. When are you going to try the new form of lion's mane? Within the next, I would say, couple of months. I want to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to make an order. I just made an order not too long ago, and I forgot it. Have you tried both of the? Yeah, so I've tried both forms of Rhodiola rosea. I like the 3% Salidroside more, but it's a very negligible difference between both of them. The other form, Rhodiola crenulata, I don't like that one. I didn't feel it being as strong. It was still okay. It did what you expect it to. And I also haven't tried the drops yet, but I don't imagine them being better. I'm really happy with my 3% Salidroside. It's great. That being said, though, depending on where you are, I realize people are from different areas of the world out here. So is Rhodiola rosea. It's good for most places. Before Nootropics Depot, I was consuming it from a lot different vendors, and I was always pretty happy with it. And it's can be pretty expensive, but if you take a good serving, like 500 milligrams. But it's a supplement that you would want to be taking every single day because it's just so strong. Life is stressful, right? Life is only getting more stressful, and there's more and more information. There's more demands on us, and so you consume something like Rhodiola rosea. You have the mental energy, you have the mental clarity. It relieves you of stress, and you also get physical energy too. Plus, at the same time, it suppresses your appetite. It's a really good productivity booster. I freaking love it. What do you think of Unifram/Sunifram? Yeah, no, I've tried this one. I tried it for a month, and same time that I tried, I think it was black seed oil. I didn't notice anything from it. Some people like it for cognition. Some people notice that they get a memory boost from it. My memory, I don't know what it is lately. My memory's been real good. I can remember conversations. I think it's the consistency of using the racetams, like introducing that back in my stack. Plus, I'm using bacopa. I'm using a good serving of choline. My sleep isn't perfect, but it's good. But yeah, my memory is like sharp. Memory is key. You got to have a good memory, because when you're talking to somebody and you remember something that they don't, it's like, oh man. That means that Noopept, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, the combination of Noopept and Aniracetam. This stack, really, it's not overdoing it. Aniracetam, piracetam, oxiracetam, pramiracetam. I don't take that one too often. And Noopept, of course, alpha GPC, use that as a choline source. So that's what I first started doing, and then I added adaptogens afterwards. It's important everyone understands, like, there's different kind of classes of nootropics. So when you're looking at products, especially for people that are newer to nootropics, understand that, like, there's stimulants, like caffeine, ephedrine, yohimbine, theacrine, dynamine. What else is out there? Amphetamine, right? Then we've got things like the racetams. Then we've got some herbal supplements like adaptogens. These are going to fight off stress. And then we have pretty much everything else, like things that you would use on an occasional basis, like 5-HTP. That's going to be a mood booster. There's amino acids. So understand this, and the things that you should be especially skeptical and mindful about are stimulants, because you use too many stimulants, something bad's going to happen eventually. It will catch up to you. It's going to interfere with your sleep quality. And like, for example, me, I don't consume over 400 milligrams of caffeine, and I only do that because I really want to have a good workout. I love exercising. I exercise every day. So that is a good serving for me. And yeah, like the Oracle Brain, I have not tried. 750 milligrams of Aniracetam 3 times a day with food, 10 milligrams Noopept 3 times a day, 150 milligrams. It's like this guy copied my stack, which is great, because my stack is and was or has been, yeah, very similar to that. And enjoyed a lot. Your social skills will be honed. Your work ethic's going to be good. Your energy level is going to be good. You will be driven. just one thing which happens as a result of kind of being too driven is you're going to neglect things that may be important to you, like your family or like your other hobbies, for instance, because you kind of have that tunnel vision, which is good sometimes, because people want to have a balanced life. But it's been my experience that like you're going to have a balanced life by kind of like focusing really hard on something for a while and being imbalanced. And then, you know, you can spend some other time balancing everything out, right? It doesn't have to be all in one day. And don't balance, harmonize. Thoughts on phenylpiracetam everyday dosing? Oh, I used phenylpiracetam today. I'm so excited to tell you guys about that. I took too much because I put the powder on my scale and it was slightly over 100 milligrams, which I don't usually do. Usually I take like 80 milligrams and then I put it under the tongue. It was 100. I couldn't remove it from the scale. So I took over 100, which I don't usually do because it's very stimulating. Probably keep me up at night tonight, but that's okay. And what I do get from it is a good physical energy boost. I don't have the need to take breaks as often. It's very interesting, like especially at the end of the day when usually I'm very tired and I'm going about my tasks. I will need to have a break. I will have a lack of concentration, or I will not have the energy to go ahead and just finish everything. With phenylpiracetam, oh my gosh, you can just do everything. You can do everything, and at the same time, you can just get up, sit back down. For me, like for example, shooting video, it kind of, yeah, it's a very powerful supplement, but what it doesn't do well is doesn't allow you to like empathize with others and build that deep level of rapport. Unless you take phenylpiracetam a lot to the point that you're like very aware of your state and you can make the tweaks, you know, necessary. For example, like a lot of people get very anxious when they're on modafinil, so they kind of have to like retrain in which they, their thought patterns in which they use when they're talking to people. So I would not use it every day. That being said, I have, for a period when I was on a cutting diet, almost like for fun, like let's see what happens. I used phenylpiracetam for 2 weeks straight, and I personally didn't experience withdrawals from it. Other people do for some reason. Yeah, just very fortunate. But other people have felt like you would expect to feel. For example, if you're on amphetamine and then you get off of it, most people just feel slower. They feel lazier when they're you know, when they get off of it, they have those withdrawals. So yeah, it's person to person, but now I'm using phenylpiracetam 2 times a week. Typically I'll do it on Tuesday and then I'll do it on a Friday. Krill oil, any thoughts compared to others? I believe this was debunked, but I remember this was like 5-6 years ago. People were loving krill oil over fish oil. Me personally, there was a time when I was using both. I didn't notice anything different, you can say, but fish oil, I mean, consistent use of fish oil over time, you should be able to tell like you're in a slightly better mood, and also your cardio is better, especially if you do exercise, you do cardio, you're going to notice you're just feeling better, more optimistic, some of those signs. Oh, it's kind of like writing things that you're, guys, if you haven't tried doing like a gratitude journal, over time, it actually compounds, and there's some research showing that it may actually help, especially if you start to be grateful for the small things. So I would encourage you to try it every day. Write down some things that you're grateful for and write down some things you want to accomplish. Mud water is a mushroom coffee drink. Man, there's too many of these mushroom coffee drinks. Do you guys find mushrooms appealing? They're all right. They're all right. Cool. Looks like, yeah. So a supplement like that, I doubt that you'd notice much from. If you enjoy drinking coffee, right, then that's good. Have you tried... I'm grateful for you too, man. Have you tried... Oh, man, we got a viewer in Vietnam. Bo Chang Du Hoc. Have you tried black ant supplement? What do you think? I have yet to try that one, but you're welcome to tell me more about it. Yeah, new form of lion's mane. We got a few people asking about this. I will definitely make an intention to get this product now that I know it is being asked about. That is my commitment to you, because you probably want to hear me talk about some newer things like that and recognize. But if there's anything else, there's a chance where you can drop it in the chat, because now what happens is I spontaneously get asked about a lot of different nootropics. But like, I mean, if I collectively keep getting the same one asked, for sure, I'm happy to make a video. I would love to make more videos for you all. Can we consider high DHA as in, kind of answered this with the fish oil answer? No, and that's not really that high. High would be like 6 to 7 grams, for example, right? And yeah, he's referring to the stuff that's in fish oil. No, but this is the thing. Like, so fish oil, for example, high in EPA and DHA, both of them, yeah, they have benefits with mood. They have benefits with mood balance. They have benefits that they can prevent heart disease. There's a lot of different things that go into play with that. But no, I don't think you'll notice much from it. And absolutely, it's a Colgate toothpaste. It's a red bottle. I don't remember what it's called. Hey, new to your community. I just got, welcome to the community, Mr. Ricardo. That's a badass picture you got. I just purchased 600 milligrams of alpha GPC. What is the best combination for focus, motivation, and retaining information that you're learning? First of all, that's a very high dose. If it's in capsules, 600 milligrams, it's like, I would definitely, break those capsules apart, because 600 milligrams, that's far more than you need. Most people are taking somewhere between like 200 to 400 milligrams of alpha GPC during the day, but that's not even in one dose. That's kind of spread apart, right? So as far as using alpha GPC with something else, for motivation, you can consider using L-tyrosine. That's going to drive you. It's going to boost your dopamine. Dopamine is a very important neurotransmitter for the brain. That's going to help you with really wanting to achieve a specific reward, right? So you're going to go after those tasks. You can also consider mucunapurine, some people like, also known as L-dopa, or the racetams that we've talked about. And retaining information, but piracetam is also good too. Now, if you don't have piracetam, some other alternatives you can consider are Noopept. That one is great. And then you can, depending on how you respond to it, you can consider something like l-theanine. It seems to like calm you down, slow you down a little bit so that you're able to learn. Because something that surprised me about learning, when I'm on stimulants, I actually don't learn as well as if I was without. And that's something I want you, like you all stimulant junkies, to think about. If you're studying, if you're reading something from it, it's a real issue, because the stimulant will give you the drive to actually go and learn. But then when you're trying to learn something, right, under the influence of a stimulant, you can't learn as well, because there's just like no emotional connection. It's like imagine your brain being a light bulb. When you're on stimulants, I believe the light is not shining as bright as it could, but it's there, right? Is there any plant or chemical substance that makes you invincible? I made a few videos on this. It's the Nootropic Limitless stack. I'm gonna break it down for you, right? So it's gonna be like phenylpiracetam. You can consider modafinil or not. Get some caffeine in there to help you with your mood. Get some L-tyrosine that's gonna help you with your focus. Use alpha GPC, and then during the day, a couple times during the day, what you want to use is bacopa mineri, and you want to use Rhodiola Rosea, because they're going to help you with fatigue. They're going to give you the energy for you to keep on going, and that's something you can consider. But modafinil, I mean, if you're just looking for one pill, probably not going to find it. There's things like modafinil, there's phenylpiracetam. You can go out and get like a nootropic blend, for example, Quality Mind, because that has like all those things in one, but it's not going to last the whole day, for example. I think that your desire to be invincible can come from a choice. So you have to choose to be invincible, because you're capable. You should do 1 week off nootropic challenge. Oh, I've done this before. This isn't. Is this challenge for me, or is this for you? You're welcome to do the challenge. But for me, the real reason why I love nootropics so much is because I've gone through this. I've taken time off of them and tried to convince myself that I'm better without, but I'm not, right? I'm less productive, and everything's really the same. Nootropics have not changed my personality, or I don't believe they have. Maybe I have a little bit more drive, but we'll never know, right? Hindsight, what does it say? Hindsight is 20/20. Stupid quote. I highly recommend coffee fruit extract. It was improving my problem solving skills. Did you try it? No. I don't like coffee fruit extracts, or even like green tea extracts, or extracts with a little bit of caffeine in them, because you got to be very careful about using them closer to a meal. Like for me, if I take them fasted, I don't feel right feel right. And I typically do practice intermittent fasting during the day. And then when you have it with a meal, I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't digest right. It doesn't sit right with you. So for me, no, but I've seen it in some pre-workout supplements. And that's interesting that it helps you with the cognitive boost, because actually most people would use a supplement like this, surprisingly, to help them lose body fat. I wonder if it's doing that for you. How would you compare the memory effects of Unifram's? So piracetam is better. I'd say, piracetam is better than Noopept as well. Piracetam, combined with alpha GPC, it's really good for your memory. It's one of the first nootropics that I was actually using back when I was in school. And when I got off of piracetam, it was very easy to tell that I could not recall things or learn things as fast as I typically could with piracetam. I'm new to the space, looking for the perfect combo. I actually made a video on 10 simple nootropic stacks that you want to consider looking. So one of them, piracetam and alpha GPC, that one's good. I mentioned bacopa mineri and Rhodiola Rosea. You can consider taking ashwagandha and lion's mane. Those two together are really going to calm you down, give you a good mood boost, like a good like your baseline mood when you wake up is going to be better every single day. So it's a nice stack. It really depends on what you're looking for. But assuming that you're looking for drive, like a lot of people are, we've talked a little bit about the racetams early in this live stream. We've talked about Rhodiola Rosea, which is going to help you to clear up your mind, to help you with your work ethic. Of course, making sure you're having a good choline source, and nothing replaces exercise. So I mean, exercise, it's going to keep you, it's going to keep that drive high. So you want to use nootropics that are going to help you be more disciplined with your daily schedule, and then eventually just keep on building up good habits, because you got good habits and you got bad habits. And the problem is bad habits compound, but good habits, they also compound, right? Do you like to combine your caffeine with l-theanine, or would you rather have them each separately? I'm really glad you asked this, because I was on Reddit, and there was almost like a survey of what people thought of l-theanine with caffeine. And it kind of verified a hypothesis that I have, that l-theanine, it makes your caffeine less effective, or that's how it is for me anyway. Like, I really like the energy boost, the mood boost that I get with caffeine, but when I mix it with l-theanine, I personally don't notice that mood boost, or it's very light. Actually, sometimes I even feel worse. So unfortunately, I don't have caffeine tablets right now. I should get some. So the times when I do use caffeine tabs, I would use the caffeine with l-theanine, but I'm going to stop, because l-theanine, it's not helping me to be productive. Yes, it's true that you don't experience as bad of a caffeine crash, and that's why a lot of people use it. People use l-theanine to remove some of the caffeine side effects, but you also you lose that really that goodness from the caffeine, depending on how you react to it, guys. Caffeine is very complex, right? Both of them don't work. Or did I'm joking, but no, both of them didn't work for me. And most people that I've seen who tried like black seed oil, for example, because it's very, very popular, they eventually conclude that it's not worth continuing use with. But yeah, I had really high expectations of black seed oil, but I simply just added it to my current nootropic stack. I didn't really do anything. Best nootropics for visualization, and daydreaming. I like to visualize a lot, and I want something to promote creativity and focus. So is your goal to visualize more, or is your goal to visualize more effectively? Because that for creativity, okay, well, you got to understand, creativity and focus, when you think about it, they're kind of like polar opposites. So which one do you want? If it's creativity you want, then I would use lion's mane. I don't think there's a nootropic out there that's going to help you be more creative, because suddenly you will start to be intrigued by different things. You get very curious. You start asking questions that you wouldn't typically ask. People would interest you, for example. You're more likely to go ahead and learn on a specific subject that didn't intrigue you, right? So that one's very good. And when it comes to focus, we talked about L-tyrosine. That one's great. Caffeine's great. Some sort of stimulant is going to be the most effective thing when it comes to focus. Interesting question. Just when you thought you've heard every question. But King, let me just see if you made a follow-up comment on that. No, it doesn't look like he did. Yeah, visualization. I don't feel any effect when taking most nootropics. Tyrosine, lion's mane, alpha GPC, Rhodiola, Rosea. Are you consuming a lot of stimulants? Because if you are, most likely the stimulants are just overpowering the other nootropics that you take. So that could be one thing. Other tip would be consider taking them in a fasted state. I don't know if you're consuming them with the meal. You can consider adding more black pepper to your meals, because there is some talk, although I think very light to no research on whether or not it makes nootropics more effective. But that's what I would do. Like those 4 nootropics that you've that you mentioned, for example, if I use them all in a fasted state, I can notice them working. But yeah, it happens to a lot of people, unfortunately. Cool. Caffeine, taurine, P5P is probably better than caffeine plus L. Yeah, everything's better than caffeine or L-theanine. But L-tyrosine, is great too. Yeah, you can add L-tyrosine. See, when you're adding, when you're combining caffeine with L-tyrosine, I think that's best pre-workout. But otherwise, specifically for productivity, there's no real need to use both of them. See, caffeine is going to do what L-tyrosine is going to do. Just use L-tyrosine if you don't want the same stimulation you would get from caffeine. Yeah, I wouldn't use them because with L-tyrosine, just the way it boosts your focus, I'm not skeptical about it, but I would be concerned about taking too much of it every single day, right? So, for example, I take it every day pre-workout, but in terms of the serving that I use later on in the day, sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I won't, because I think if I were to take it too often, then I would build some sort of tolerance to it. Like I like how L-tyrosine feels when I don't, kind of overdo it, if that makes sense. Is MindLab Pro good for schizophrenia? Why would it be? Maybe. The best thing really you can do is watch your sugar intake and your sleep. And I'm grateful for you too, sir. Also, I feel sleepy every class I'm on. Any good brands other than Nootropic? Well, that's not going to fix your sleep issue. You may want to consider adjusting your diet. You may want to look at some supplements that are going to help you get better sleep. Like I like Shodan, which is a form of ashwagandha. You can get the capsules, 120 milligrams. Use it once before you sleep. It's a really good supplement for sleep, sleeping deep. And I use Tribulus terrestris as well as lemon balm extract before going to sleep. Is there something that makes you live longer, like an additional 20 years maybe? See, this is a really hot topic right now because right now there's a lot of just like theories, but I think in a few years we'll actually have some good supplements out there with some good evidence showing that they may in fact make you live longer. Because now it's kind of like, because this supplement does this, in theory, it should make people live longer. There's just a lot of question marks, but very interesting things to follow, because our kids, for example, like the younger age, I think they'll be living 200 years plus because of the rapid advancements in technology. 6 to 7 grams of DHA. This guy is not stopping. Is this the same DHA guy? I love your interest in fish oil. It's good. What are my thoughts on it? I mean, you can try it. I don't think you're going to notice much from it. You're going to be disappointed. Plus, it's very expensive. Now, the downside of consuming too much fish oil, from my experience, nosebleeds. It was very interesting. I was getting like nosebleeds left and right. This is not for me. All right, cool. Piracetam versus Noopept. How would you compare them in terms of cognitive enhancement? I thought we talked about this already. Piracetam is going to be better for learning. It's going to, better for memory. I think better for problem solving. Noopept hits you quicker. It'll make you more productive. But if I were to choose one over the other, I would choose Piracetam, just because Piracetam, I feel like it makes you more well-rounded. I don't mean well-rounded. I mean well-rounded in the spectrum of productivity. Because Noopept can make you so focused that you're not as socially skilled as you may be with Piracetam, for example. Yeah, general nootropics are better for learning. Stimulants are better for taking action on tasks that you're already familiar with doing. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for piggyback on that. It's like the example of, for example, if I told you to run a mile away, like just run straight, for example, you'd be better off taking caffeine. But if it was a complex map, for example, and you need to problem solve to get to the destination, which is a mile away, you're going to be better off without stimulants. What would potentially, and you know what's so cool? They actually teach this stuff in school. Like I took psychology, and there was, or at least the school I was in, there was a good amount of information about caffeine, which helped you better understand stimulants. What would potentially reduce the effectiveness of modafinil? Other supplements / behavioral elements? Ooh, what a good question. Reducing the intake, I mean, instead of taking 100 milligrams, take 50 milligrams. That could be one. Reduce the effectiveness. I don't know why you would want to do that, but I would say hydrating, because modafinil often gives you headaches, and that it doesn't necessarily reduce the effectiveness, but it's more likely it's going to be less likely that you experience side effects. But also eating. See, when you fast, catecholamines go up, and you get this adrenaline, and you kind of like, you get irritable, but a productive irritable, if that makes sense. So as you eat, and your blood sugar just stays stable because you're eating fiber and you're having some healthy fats, you're less likely to experience like ups and downs with your energy and not be as irritable. Behavioral elements. Being around people, because people will catch if you're on modafinil, they'll notice something's up with you. Like that used to happen with me a lot, but now I've kind of trained myself that people can't really tell if I use modafinil or not. Sneaky. I'm sneaky. Rhodiola rosea is also an adaptogen, helps with cortisol. Yep, absolutely. Love this stuff. Have you used St. John's Wort? Yes, I used it specifically because St. John's Wort has pretty good research showing that it can boost your mood, helps with mood stabilization. But a lot of people don't actually respond well to it, and people do experience adverse reactions to it. So after a few weeks of using it, didn't notice much from it, and read too many bad examples about St. John's Wort, like driving people to mania, for example, so I got off of it. It's one of those supplements, like if you're really going through a tough time and you feel like you've tried everything and every nootropic stack and every diet, that's when you would use something like St. John's Wort to help you just get out of that, right? Alpha GPC is in a capsule, 600 milligrams, so you wouldn't be able to split it in half. No, you can just open up the capsule. I do it all the time. But if it's a tablet, then yeah, it can be a little bit tricky. Yeah, L-theanine blunts caffeine too much for me. Yeah, it's always neat, like trying caffeine and L-theanine for the first time and seeing, and just feeling it, and then you convince yourself you like it. But in the longevity of nootropics, you learn things. Yeah, you should have started. Cool. Appreciate you guys helping each other out. Also, what would you recommend? Oh man, Estelle is the one who asked the magical question before, so we got to pay good attention to this. Also, what would you recommend to enhance an innovative mind plus analytical skills? Thanks, man, and thank you too. To enhance an innovative mind and analytical skills, like I mentioned before, lion's mane is going to be the great nootropic. It'll make you more creative, and especially with analytical skills, it kind of helps you to see the big picture and not just the immediate, immediate things. It may not mathematically make you like any sharper, any faster, for example, but help you to overall see the big picture, like I mentioned. And then Alpha GPC does a lot. Other nootropics that can really help you with cognition besides those, the racetams could be good. Piracetam may help you think a little bit differently, but nothing too strong. The only thing then you may want to take, but I don't recommend it, are some of the more like things which really aren't so safe that a lot of people don't use, like kratom, or like kratom is one a lot of people don't like because you get withdrawals. We also have phenibut. People use phenibut free amino acid, or the HCl, which helps a lot of people with anxiety, and yeah, makes it feel a bit looser, a little bit calmer, but I don't recommend those two. Yeah, that's right. What are your thoughts on guarana extract? Some people use it for weight loss. It's a stimulant. I just don't like how I feel when I'm on it. It's a strange, stimulating anxiety feeling that I get from it. So yeah, I personally don't like it. But something that, just off topic, I really like green tea extract. That's one I used before eating every single day, and I think it's great. I think it helps you stay young. I think it helps with clear-mindedness. It helps with your blood sugar. So that's a supplement. As we're talking about like health supplements, fish oil, green tea extract is something that I absolutely love. Visualization in terms of meditation. It's interesting to sit down in a quiet space and visualize. When in this state, we attempt to be focused and generate ideas. So focus and creativity is key. I mean, yeah, you can do that through a guided meditation. And I agree. Yeah, Kratom just talked about. Kava is one of the best supplements for anxiety. I haven't found a consistent way to use Kava. The last time I got it, it was in not this moisture, but I don't know. It wasn't a tablet either. It was just I got it from Lift Mode, I think. But it didn't do too much for me. I think for some people who really have anxiety issues, they may benefit by trying some Kava. Thoughts on chamomile tea? Not going to do much. Should, in theory, be calming. I mean, you like a nice hot cup of tea, then it may just calm you down a little bit. But as far as like chamomile itself, I don't think it's super effective. What's your favorite sleep stack? So the sleep stack that I mentioned before, I'm still using. I'm currently enjoying after trying a lot of things. I'll kind of tell you the effective things that I found, and then some things which are less effective, but you can consider. So Shoden, that's the form of ashwagandha, Shoden, 120 milligrams before sleeping. Lemon balm extract, I'm using 100 milligrams, and Tribulus terrestris, I'm using 1 gram. I'm using that before sleeping. Some other things that you can consider using are valerian root and ZMA, which is zinc, magnesium, and another vitamin. And then what happens is though they're so subtle, you probably won't notice them working. And then of course we have melatonin. Melatonin, the only time I would really consider using is if I'm adjusting my sleep schedule, because for example, like I'm traveling, or if I took too many stimulants during the day, like phenylpiracetam, or I used caffeine too late, then what often happens is they keep you up. So you can use something like melatonin. It'll calm you down, slow down your thoughts, and you're able to sleep. And guys, don't mind, Tyler, you as well. Make sure that everyone drops a like on this live stream. I appreciate you guys. We got a new video coming out next Tuesday. Go with MCT oil instead of fish oil. I don't agree with that. MCT oil, it's a saturated fat. A lot of people don't actually respond as well to MCT oil as you'd think. A lot of people don't know that actually, but you can consume a lot of MCT oil and just gain weight, right? So it doesn't have the heart benefits that fish oil does, for example. And that's I think the main reason a lot of people use fish oil is for heart health. MCT, more like energy, maybe cognition, but not everybody responds well to it. All right, now we're talking about ghee. I struggle with absorption / feeling nootropics a lot. Any tips other than fasting? I struggle with absorption, feeling nootropics a lot, adjusting pH. If you, I'm not sure if you're asking how to make the nootropics more effective, like we talked about. Nicotine only makes me anxious. Am I choline deficient? No, I don't think you are. I think maybe you want to adjust the form that you're taking. And with it, like I've been using the spray, just 4 to 8 milligrams per day. And you should not, I mean, it's normal that you feel slightly anxious after the use of it, but it's like once you take it for 5 minutes, you should feel enough of a hit to get you some drive, to get you back in state, to get you that alertness. That's usually why people would use it. But then afterwards, yeah, you do get like a dip in the mood. That's one of the things I hate most about it and why I barely use it. What nootropics or supplements can help someone with PAWS? I'm having trouble with anxiety. What does PW? Yeah, remind me what it stands for. Oh, we gotta hurry this up. Is it possible for bacopa to cause brain fog? Immediately, maybe yes, because bacopa makes you very just aware of your surroundings, your environment. You become very present. You're like focusing on your skin. So I wouldn't call it brain fog. I think brain fog is more like you don't know what you're doing and you can't think of things, for example. Now, bacopa, if it's causing, if that's happening for you, then I would adjust the type of bacopa that you're consuming or just take it at a lower dose, because bacopa can demotivate you. And when you're demotivated, then you have a lack of concentration, and maybe that is going to be bacopa. Do you believe there's any legitimate correlation between men regularly icing their testicles and allegedly increasing testosterone levels? I'm going to say no. If so, then it would be minimal. I think a more effective way of boosting testosterone levels could be just simply eating more carbohydrates, eating more healthy fat, eating some saturated fat like meat, eat the skin. It'll make a difference. But stack 4, a mathematician or physicist. So that would give, you'd be looking at getting like an analytical edge. I would use something like 500 milligrams of ashwagandha 2 times a day. And I would use lion's mane at 500 milligrams twice a day as well. And then, of course, make sure that you get some choline. Yeah, Shodan has... Nice. Yeah, we're talking about the different types of ashwagandha. So with Shodan, the withanalyzed content is a lot higher. Therefore, you're a little bit more relaxed. So I've never used Shodan during the day or in the morning, for example, because it'll calm you down, right? Hey, Mike, do you take anything for gut health? No, we were just talking about this. I don't take probiotics. I haven't in the past, for example. Some people take fermented foods. A lot of different things you can do for gut health, and there definitely is a relationship between cognition and gut health. That being said, it's very variable between different individuals. Some people take things and they notice a difference. The good thing about probiotic supplements, they're super cheap. You go to like the local store, you'll be able to get like a month's supply for $6 or $7. Nothing wrong with trying them out, but I've tried many different things for gut health. Haven't noticed anything different. Maybe when I'm older. What is your opinion on? Never tried this one. Sounds interesting. 3 or 5 years. Don't know if that's a question. Is 150 milligrams of alpha GPC a good pair for 800 milligrams of piracetam? Yeah, I think that's great. I think that is gold. And yeah, my piracetam intake, it would be higher than some of the other racetams. Like a gram in a serving is kind of common, actually. In fact, that's what I'm taking. I'm taking 1 gram 2 to 3 times a day. Post-acute withdrawal symptoms. Okay, what was the question about the pause? Okay, cool. Got you. Consider some L-tyrosine and some Rhodiola rosea. There's actually supplements out there, like supplement blends that have this stuff. They'll have some kelp there for your thyroid health, for example, some vitamin B. I think vitamin B is actually a good supplement. Nothing wrong with taking some more. Get some drops, get a vitamin B complex. Okay, I'm just not good on what. Don't know what was the question. What is the best diet to improve cognition? I think everyone should at least try the keto diet once, because your understanding of nutrition and how foods affect your mood is very educational. You'll come out of that knowing a lot about your body, knowing how you respond to different foods. So I wouldn't say it's the best diet. I think for most people, what they're going to benefit best from is having this philosophy that you need to earn your carbs. So the more activity you do, the more carbohydrates you can eat. And you're going to be better off. If you're not active at all, then I wouldn't stay between medium to high carb. I would go low to medium carb and look at your nutrition. Look at having like at least 25% of your daily calories from fat. 30 to 35% is good. Make sure you're getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and then you can fill the rest with carbohydrates. But it really just depends on your physical activity. And of course, avoid processed foods if you can. I follow a good practice that I've been consistent with, and I don't feel like I'm missing out, where on Saturday, I'll typically have like a big carb day, and then the rest of the week, I'm pretty clean with my diet. So Saturday's the day like I just go all out, cheesecake, sushi, naan, chole, all that stuff. Isn't it? Man, we need some questions. I mean, like we need question marks so I understand. It's interesting. Cool. Okay, how much phosphatidylserine to take for sleep? I wouldn't use it for sleep. I actually feel a little bit alert when I use phosphatidylserine, but you can consider taking like 300 to 400 milligrams. More is going to be more effective with phosphatidylserine. I haven't found anything wrong with taking too much. It's funny because I actually use it to fight a sleep-deprived state. Like when you're sleep-deprived, your short-term memory is really bad, but you use something like phosphatidylserine, it's super effective. Helps to clear that out. You can think well, you can learn at a fast rate. So I absolutely love it. And guys, that is a wrap. I really appreciate you all. We'll get some timestamps over here. Make sure to share this channel with everyone and keep on dropping likes. And I'm consistently posting videos Tuesday, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So I expect to see you there when I'm launching these videos because you got to support the videos. That's 5 o'clock p.m. UK time. That's 9 o'clock a.m. California time, Pacific time, or Vancouver time, wherever you guys are. But I appreciate all of you. We're going to do this more. Let's have some fun.